I spent the better part of 60 years measuring my life in the wrong units. Dollars, promotions, the number in the account that was never quite big enough. I built a fortress out of work, brick by brick, and I told myself everybody inside it was safe. Took me most of my life to figure out that some of the people standing closest to that fortress were the ones quietly pulling bricks out of the bottom. I live near the woods now. Quiet place. Mornings are slow, and I have finally got the time to think about things I was too busy to notice when I was chasing. And one of the things I keep circling back to is this. At my age, you stop dressing up your pain in pretty words. You stop calling it complicated when it is simple. You start to understand that peace is worth more than approval, and a calm afternoon is worth more than being liked by somebody who only takes. So let me be blunt, the way I wish somebody had been blunt with me 30 years ago. There are 5 kinds of people you have to be careful with as you get older. Some of them are strangers. Some of them sit at your own table. I am not going to soften it. I carried all 5 at one time or another, and every one of them cost me something I cannot get back. Here they are, in order. The first one is the manipulator. And here is the thing nobody warns you about. Manipulation does not come through the front door yelling. It comes in quiet, dressed up as urgency, as feeling, as responsibility. It is somebody close to you who always seems to be standing at the edge of a cliff. Every phone call is an emergency. Every favor is the last favor, the one that finally fixes everything. And somehow, you are always the only person on this earth who can save them. I had a fellow like that in my orbit for years. I will call him Dale. Good talker. Every time the phone rang, it was a fire, and I was the bucket. If I hesitated, even for a breath, the tone changed. Suddenly, I was the one letting him down, the one who did not care, the one who was about to cause the next disaster. And you know what I noticed too late? I had stopped making my own decisions. I was just reacting, putting out fires that started themselves on a schedule. Each rescue bought me about a week of quiet, and then the next emergency rolled in like weather. My whole life started getting measured by how steady or shaky Dale happened to be that month. That is no way for a grown man to live. Love does not ask you to hand over your own balance. So I learned to step back without slamming any doors. I stopped jumping at the first alarm. I learned to pause and to say no without writing him a 3-page explanation for why. And slowly, that space let the pressure off my chest. The second kind is the self-absorbed one, the narcissist, though I do not much care for the fancy word. This one does not ask you for a thing. That is what fools you. They never come asking. But they never really see you either. Every conversation, no matter where it starts, ends up back on them. You mention something good that happened to you, and within a sentence or two, it has been turned around to be about their day, their troubles, their big news. I had a cousin like this, a woman named Maureen. Sharp dresser, never missed a holiday, and I realized one afternoon that she had not asked me a single real question about my own life in years. Not one. I would tell her something that mattered to me, and it would just sort of dissolve into the air while she waited for her turn. Your milestones become background music to them. And the strange part is, you start disappearing inside your own relationships, and you do not even notice you have gone quiet. What I learned is you do not fix this by waiting for them to finally clap for you. That applause is never coming. You shorten the visit. You stop waiting for the acknowledgement. And when they cut you off mid-sentence, you just keep talking and finish your thought. Feels like breaking some unwritten rule, I know. But that rule was only ever written for one of you. The third kind is the critic. Now this one is sneaky, because they almost never raise their voice. They genuinely think they are helping you. It comes dressed as advice, as concern, as experience. Little comments about how you live, how you keep your place, how you spend your days, what you wear, what you eat. Nothing you do is ever quite good enough, and they will let you know with a small remark and a small smile. I knew a man like that for a long time, an old acquaintance named Walt. Walt had an opinion on every choice I ever made, and a gentle little correction ready for all of them. And here is what it does to you. It does not knock you flat all at once. It is slower than that. You replay the words at night and start to wonder if maybe he is right. Over time, it does not just hurt you. It reshapes how you see your own self. You start auditing your own life through a borrowed pair of eyes. The day it lifted was the day I understood something simple. Not every opinion deserves a room in your head. Some words are just noise, even when they come from a familiar voice, even a voice you have known 40 years. So I stopped defending every little choice I made. I stopped explaining my life like it was a thing waiting on somebody's approval. I would nod, say, "All right," and go on living in my own direction. And the weight of it lost its grip on me. The fourth kind is the irresponsible one. This is the person who leaves a trail of mess everywhere they go. Missed payments, broken promises, bad decisions stacked on bad decisions. And always, always, somebody else is supposed to come along and clean it up. And let me tell you, us older folks get treated like the cleanup crew. Younger relatives look at a man my age and figure he has got extra time, extra patience, a little money set aside. So they treat you like a safety net strung up under their whole circus. I will tell you a true one, near enough. A few years back, a young relative of mine, I will call him Marcus, asked if he could stay with me a little while, just till he got back on his feet. Marcus is not a bad kid, understand. He is not cruel. He is just lazy and careless, and charming enough about it that everybody keeps handing him one more chance. Drifts from job to job. Nothing is ever his fault. There is always a boss who had it out for him, or a car that picked the wrong week to die. So he moves into my quiet little place by the woods. A few weeks, he said. Those weeks turned into months. The mess piled up in my own kitchen. The bills crept up. My peace, the thing I had finally earned, just evaporated. I started waking up irritated in my own home, which is a special kind of awful when you are 60, and home is supposed to be the one place that lets you breathe. Then came the afternoon that settled it. I had spent the whole morning worrying about my own health, a kind of quiet worry that sits on you at my age. And I walked through the house, and there was Marcus, 3 p.m, stretched out doing absolutely nothing, waiting on the day to feed him. And I just stood there and thought, why on earth am I carrying a grown man who flat refuses to carry himself? Now, folks my age were raised to endure, to help family no matter what it cost you. And I believe in that, I do. But somewhere along the way, I learned there is a hard line between helping a man through a rough patch and feeding a pattern that is never going to end on its own. One is love. The other one is just slow drowning, the both of you. So I sat Marcus down. No yelling. I am too old for yelling, and it never fixed anything anyway. I just told him plain that he had about a month to find somewhere else, and I meant it. He was shocked, offended even. Acted like I had done him some great wrong. But after he packed up and left, something came back to my house that I had near forgotten. The silence came back. The peace came back. And honestly, so did a measure of my own well-being, because stress sits heavier on an older body than younger people will ever understand until they get here themselves. The fifth kind sounds smaller than the rest, but do not let that fool you. This is the ungrateful one, and chronic ingratitude is a slow wound. When your honest giving gets treated like something owed, like a bill being paid, you start to feel invisible, not hated, just unseen. They rarely give you a real thank you, the kind that means it. Nothing you do is ever enough. Give them your time, and they will mention the thing you did not give. Offer your help, and they will critique how you went about it. Make a real sacrifice, and they act like you just barely met some obligation. After enough of that, your own generosity starts to curdle into resentment, and that is a poison you end up drinking yourself. Here is mine. For a good few years, I used to do a kindness for a little group of older folks out my way. Once a week, I would load up the truck and drive a handful of them out to a diner on the far side of the county, the one with the good pie and the long windows. My idea, my gas, my afternoon. And there was one woman in the bunch, I will call her Eunice, who found something wrong with every single trip. Too cold in the truck, too crowded at the diner, wrong day, wrong road, always something. One time I went all out and cooked a supper for the whole group at my place. Spent the better part of a day on it. Set the table nice. And after all that, the only thing Eunice had to say, the one remark she offered up, was that the meat had come out a touch dry. That was it. I drove home that night, after dropping the others off, feeling hollowed out and bone-tired. And somewhere on that dark road it finally landed on me. Gratitude is oxygen for a person's spirit. People need to feel appreciated the way a plant needs sunlight, and that is twice as true for older folks who already half feel like the world has set them on the shelf. A sincere thank you warms an aging heart more than these young people could ever guess. So I stopped pouring my best hours into people who treated kindness like it was just lying around free. I put my energy where the care actually runs both directions. And I will be honest with you, my whole life got lighter the moment I did. So let me bring it home. When you are young, you think life is about what you achieve. The career, the kids, the mortgage paid off, the goals, one after another, like fence posts down a long road. I sure thought so. I gave everything to that road, and let it cost me people I cannot get back. A daughter I grew distant from while I was off chasing a number. But getting older changes the whole definition on you. Peace becomes the real wealth. A calm morning turns into a luxury. A stress-free afternoon, just one, is worth more than impressing anybody who was never going to be impressed anyhow. And the people standing around you, every last one of them, are doing one of two things. They are either protecting your spirit, or they are quietly draining it. There is no third option, much as we would like there to be. Now hear me. I do not hate any of these people. Dale, Maureen, Walt, the whole lot of them. Some of them were carrying wounds I never took the time to understand, because I was too busy with my own fortress to look. But age has taught me one thing for certain. Compassion does not mean you have to hand somebody unlimited access to your life. You can love a person and still put a door between you and the damage they do. Those two things can live side by side. So if there is somebody who keeps leaving you anxious, worn out, guilty, invisible, or just small, do not you dare ignore it. Not at this age. At this age, peace is not some luxury you have got to earn. It is a necessity, the same as food and sleep. Protect the years you have got left. Protect your heart, and protect those quiet little joys that took you a whole lifetime to learn how to see. And if nobody has bothered to tell you lately, let an old man do it. You are still allowed to choose yourself.